Hey guys, Robert here, cybertribenetwork.com. Just wanted to alert the people that are out there that know who Mike from around the world is. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I see an elaborate deception that I really believe God does not look kindly upon and will judge those who are involved knowingly. Although those who are unknowingly listening and swallowing this deception obviously are being affected, but it takes someone to really be the whistleblower and expose these unfruitful deeds that are in darkness. And I really do believe there has been those who have been involved with the Council of Time, Mike from around the world, and have left his meeting, left his fellowship, or whatever they call it. There's been 3 different people that I know of personally that have been very involved, and they've all said that they've seen very glaring inconsistencies and calculated deception. And it's all been recorded. Now, there's going to be some new things coming out here by someone else that has just come forward that has some interesting recordings and has made some observations of some recordings that have just recently been made on the Paul Begley show. Mike from around the world has been very intimately acquainted and one of the special guests of Paul Begley, as well as some other major shows like the Hagman and Hagman show. Now, the Hagmans do not have Mike from around the world come on his show anymore, as well as some of the others that were at one time using him as a guest. But Paul Begley still does associate himself with Mike from around the world. Now, recently, there's been a new man that has come on the scene by the name of John Breaux, and this was a show that was done on the Paul Begley show 2 weeks ago. And I would put this before all those who know and are familiar with Mike from around the world to actually go and listen to this broadcast 2 weeks ago. And his name is John Breaux, and it was on the Coming Apocalypse show from Paul Begley. And I want you to listen to this man and tell me if he doesn't sound like Mike from around the world. Now, a lot of the information is very parallel to what Mike talks about. In fact, it's something that is going to be coming out with another expose by someone else that has been researching this. And this is classic acting that's being done here that people are believing as true. Someone that has well researched his material and is a great actor. I'll say that Mike from around the world is very good at what he does, and he has a whole toolbox of little deceptive mechanisms that he employs. One of which is a voice morpher. He's using a voice modulator that morphs the voice, and he calls into these radio shows to disguise himself with this information, as well as to put on an elaborate hoax and an acting job. Now, for anybody that is familiar with Mike from around the world's mode of operation, is his techniques, his sound, the way he phrases, listen closely to the phraseology of Mike from around the world. And for those who have been listening to Mike from around the world for quite some time, you will exactly detect these similarities in John Breaux. You're going to hear it. It's going to sound very similar. Now, he obviously is pretending like he's someone that is new and that is new to the faith, and he's a Chevron man with the oil industry. He's been involved ever since he was 17, so he's 54 years old now. But he also was retired. Supposedly what he also said was that he was a retired military man, which would have taken at least 20 years to have been retired. So I don't know how he could have been an oil man all of his life if he had been involved in the military and retired. So there was an inconsistency there. But listen to John Breaux and tell me if it doesn't sound very similar to Mike from around the world's style and phraseologies. Now remember this. He's aware that he's deceiving people with this new act, this new character. And he has to put a little spin on his accent and maybe kind of the way he comes across. But in his unguarded moments as he's explaining things, listen very carefully to the way he explains things and his stammering and stuttering in the way he kind of talks to Paul. He always calls him Pastor Paul. If you really listen, you'll see there's a parallel to Mike from around the world. Now, there's going to be evidence of this brought forward here real soon, and this expose is going to be being done by a person that I would say is very well versed with the inside information from Council of Time, as well as the other one that had come forward by the name of Todd a while back. Now, there's also some other people that are involved that I think know more, but I do believe this is all coming out right now. So you guys that have been believing this, and I've tried to warn you way back at least a year ago that this was all coming out, here it is. God bless you, and I hope that you guys are opening up your eyes.
The Spirit moved me to read 23 of the books removed from the Bible, sir, from the book of Jasher. I did a complete study on Mr. Josephus, the historian, and I found myself, I had to, have I lost you, Pastor?
No, you're fine. You're doing fine.
Okay. I ended up having to do this study. I found something on YouTube, which we'll get into if you wish, but I found that there was some truth to these end-time prophecies. And what I ended up doing was, as an investigator by nature and trade, I knew that I needed to go to the path of least resistance, and I needed to find where, if you want to know if a good idea is good, Pastor Paul, you look at the amount of resistance it receives, and you go from there. If it's receiving a lot of resistance, then you know you're hitting bullseye, sir. So I found something that led me to where I needed to verify some dates, because I had taken 2 months off from the oil corporations, and of course I have contracts signed with those people, and when it was time for me to leave, I gave a 2 months notice and said I'll have some studying to do. And I was very disturbed, because what I found was telling me that all of us as a human race, a planet, we only have so many years left, and it wasn't enough to worry about putting money in a bank account anymore. And he shook me to my soul when I realized this needed to be debunked and proven wrong, so I could go back to work and finish my rat killing.